Greetings, everyone, and welcome to football season. This is WROA Training Tape Series. I'm Cade Murray, I'm the Huddle Coordinator for the Wisconsin River Officials Association. And when you're watching this, it'll be August. We're in July right now when I'm recording this, hence why I still got the facial hair going. But football season is approaching, and it's time to start thinking about football. And I normally only do 4 training tapes per season, but I wanted to make a football rule changes one and call it number 0 because this is a very important year of rule changes. We have a lot of changes impacting the game in multiple ways. Coaches are going to have to deviate their strategies. It's going to be a challenge for everyone involved to get these right, especially us as officials. So I'm hoping by making this, I can provide you with some useful information and hopefully able to set the precedent for some consistency across the state of Wisconsin of how we are going to enforce these rule changes moving forward. This will be a little bit longer than our normal training tapes just because there's so much information to go through. Normally, I just jump in the clips and we get right into it. That's what the other 4 training tapes will be for. Feel free to skip around in the video and try and deviate where you want to learn more information. But without further ado, let's get into the training tape here. Just a couple disclaimers here before we get started. Watching this video does not count for any credit towards any level of advancement or clinic in the WIAA or any state association for that matter. I'm not sponsored by the WIAA. I am not sponsored by the NFHS. I wish I was. I'd be able to make a lot higher quality videos than this. But I am not, again, not sponsored by anybody except for the WROA. This training is for a 5-person officiating crew. There won't be too much besides the intentional grounding stuff where it deviates from a 5-person officiating crew, but we do 5 in Wisconsin. It'll be pretty similar for 4, and then after that, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know. I know some high school associations use up to 8, but again, this is for 5, and then again, this is also for the umpire in the defensive backfield. We know, especially in our neighboring state, Minnesota, they use 5, but they put the umpire in the offensive backfield. This is for training for a 5-person crew with the umpire in the defensive backfield. No clip is meant to pick on one official group of official crew, player, or coach. This is purely just to learn from. I want you guys to learn from this. I hope you can take things away from this. And we are not picking on anybody at all. One of these clips is of my own crew, and I know they have no issues with this. And if you ever do see yourself in this, just know it's not me coming at you. It's not me saying that you're doing things incorrectly. It is just us trying to learn. And I am not a trained clinician or have any association with anybody except for the WROA. Like you who is watching us, you're trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. I've learned just by making this. And I'm hoping that the information that I've learned, I can regurgitate to you, sort of like a teacher to a student, so that I can help you enforce these rule changes properly. Real quick, the WROA is doing a virtual clinic this year. We've done a couple in the past, but we are doing another virtual one this fall. We're doing 3 dates. We're doing them all on Sundays. You can see the dates there. They all start at 7 o'clock and they're via Zoom. So you can watch them from the comfort of your own home. They'll go from 7 to 9. And if you would like to register, the cost is $35. You can contact Brian Kenny via email at briankenny98@gmail.com or cell number listed there. All right, so let's finally get into the rule changes now that I'm done blabbing here. These are some of the little bit, I want to say minor changes. They're not going to be super impactful to the game. They're not going to be hard to really pick up on or anything like that. 1-2-3G. This is new. The team box where the players and the coaches may be is now extended via state association adoption. So it does not mean that if you're watching this from out of state, that your state association has changed this, but they may now extend it beyond the 25-yard line. The only time we've had this is the COVID year where we had from 15 to 15. I have not heard from Tom Shafransky or anybody at the WIA what the change is going to be if we are going to have one with this. If I had to guess, it would probably stay at 25. It depends on what the WFCA and what everyone else has decided what they want. But just know that if we do not see a change this year, we may see this change in upcoming years, and we may see it this year depending on when we get that information. 1-3-3, the ball may be changed now between downs by any official. It was previously supposed to only be the referee. Now it may be done by any official. So whether that's the umpire, the line of scrimmage officials, the back judge gets involved in a rotation and feels that the ball needs to be changed out within reason, they may change the ball out. This isn't saying, we're going to change to a kicking ball or anything like that. This is mainly if weather conditions are causing us to have to switch the ball a lot. The referee doesn't need to approve. The umpire or anyone can make that ball change. And 1-4-3, the number 0, single digit, not 0, 0. 0 is now made legal this year. Okay, what I want to call one of these is kind of an intermediate change, but then another one is a really big change that we need to make sure of. Actually, both of these are really big changes that we need to be aware of. And they're regarding our game and play clock. So 3-4-7 clarified that the offended team's game clock options can now be given to an offended team if a penalty occurs or a foul occurs, if a foul occurs, the offended team will now have the option to start the play clock or the game clock on the ready for play or the snap. So if we are under 2 minutes, this applies under 2 minutes in the second quarter or the fourth quarter, regardless of the score. If we have a holding call and the clock was running when the down ended and it ended in bounds, the down ended in bounds, if the holding is by the offense, the defense will now have the option if they want to start the game clock on the ready for play signal or on the snap. Normally, we would just start it on the ready for play because the ball is in bounds. Now that offended team has that option moving forward. Again, this applies in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter, the fourth quarter, or each half. And it is the offended team has the option. If the ball went out of bounds, so let's say we had a holding call, the runner went out of bounds, the game clock is stopped, then the defensive team does not have that option. The game clock will start on the snap. This is big that we get this from the coach every single time. We can never make assumptions for coaches. We never know what's going through their heads. And I encourage you in your pregame conferences with your coaches this season to ask your coach, because remember we had the penalty designator rule implemented last year, that we also have that person be the same person that makes the decision if we want to start or stop the game or start the game clock on the ready or the snap. I have always encouraged it to be the head coach. Sometimes they have their assistants do it. This is not clarified that saying it has to be the same person. So an assistant coach could be making a decision on the penalties and the head coach could make the decision on the clock. That is perfectly okay. But I would encourage your coach to just make it be the same person so it's easier to manage. We get all that information. We can get the ball back ready for play. And now we have a new exception to play clock administration. So Rule 3-6-1A 1E has now clarified or added that if there's a defensive stoppage of play, that the play clock will now be set to 40 seconds. So if we have a defensive injury, we have blood on the uniform of a defensive player, helmet comes off of a defensive player, or, and this is the big one, a penalty by the defense, the play clock now goes to 40 seconds, where it used to be 25 for all of those except for an injury. Now it is 40 seconds for all. So we cannot make that mistake. If we have a offsides penalty, the play clock goes to 40 seconds. Even if it was at 25 before, it goes to 40 seconds now. This is big. This is a big change that I think after a while, everyone will kind of get used to it. But for now, we have to adjust to that it will be 40 seconds for a defensive penalty. So now we have two other big ones. Rule 2-3-8, the chop block has been redefined as a combination block in which one block is above the waist and one block is below the waist. So this is still a 15-yard penalty. It is not an automatic first down. Remember, we only have 3 automatic first downs in high school: roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, roughing the snapper. But now the referee and the umpire, we need to look for combination blocks where we have the one above the waist and below the waist. This is a safety foul. This is just as big as our intentional grounding foul. I do not want the intentional grounding rule change to shadow the chop block change, because if we don't get on this rule change was made for a reason. We need to enforce it, and we need to eliminate this from the high school game the best we can. So we're really looking for, again, that above the waist and that below the waist at the same time, that combination block. We need to get that as a chop block. And now the big one, Rule 7-5-2, exception 2, new. Added a new exception for the passer. So let's pay attention to the wording here. If the passer has left the lateral boundaries of the free blocking zone, or is in slang, the pocket, which I will use quite frequently in this video just for kind of keeping my words short, as established at the snap, they may throw the ball away without an eligible receiver in the area if the ball crosses the line of scrimmage in which extends beyond the sideline. So let's take a look at some of the wording here. To start, if the passer has left the lateral boundaries of the free blocking zone. So let's remember the free blocking zone is that 3 feet area, or that 3-step area from the ball that extends either side. And if our quarterback decides to leave those lateral boundaries, which should be set in, by the referee and the umpire, which we'll get into in the film, if he leaves that, he is able, and he is subject to this rule exemption of intentional grounding. Notice how it says has left. So if the quarterback leaves the free blocking zone and comes back in and tries to throw the ball away, by the wordage of this rule, they are still allowed to throw that ball away without the intentional grounding rule because of the wording of has left. Now, there could be something that comes out where it says, nope, they got to be out of the pocket even if they come back in. And if I'm wrong on this, this is my interpretation of the rule as I'm reading it. If I'm wrong on this, I'm wrong on this, and I apologize. But the way I am reading this and the way you guys are reading this right now, and girls, if that quarterback goes outside and goes back inside, they can still throw that ball away. Totally legal. And then I want to know if the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, which extends beyond the sideline. So if the ball is in the air, and let's say the line of scrimmage is the 25-yard line, that ball is thrown at the 20 and goes out of bounds. It doesn't hit the ground, but it goes out of bounds at the 23 and sails past the line of scrimmage. It is still legal. It does not have to land in bounds. So, again, I am the quarterback. I'm scrambling. I'm out of the pocket. I throw it at the 20. The ball crosses the sideline at the 23, but extends beyond that 25-yard line. That can extend all the way to China. If they throw that ball and it is past the 25, it is a legal play. So that is important for your line of scrimmage officials, that if they have a situation like that, that they are staying home, and that when that ball is sailed out of bounds, that we have a definite ruling on that we can make that. So I do have some film for intentional grounding. I have 2 plays to look at. So let's get right into it here. So our first play that we're going to have here is a really good play because it shows the kind of the qualifications for being out of bounds, or that rule exemption that we're talking about. You guys will see here. So first thing I want to know, and I don't fault our umpire here at all, we want that umpire to be more out here, right? Because this is where the free blocking zone is. This is the free blocking zone right now, is that tackles. It is established by those tackles right here, right? So this is our free blocking zone right here. The quarterback needs to get out of this area in order to be able to throw that ball away. So we want to highlight this as officials. So the referee should be standing from this right tackle's foot extended right about here, and he's farther back here in this video. And then the umpire should be on this left tackle's foot and should be highlighting it there. That is important information for the passer to know where they have to get outside of. Now, safety is a must. If this umpire is going to get hit here and has to move, they have to move. But we should be able to establish this at the snap and then have a somewhat of a good idea as to where this is. It is important that the back judge also kind of notes, okay, where's the referee standing? Where's the umpire standing? Because if we need help, the back judge can come in and give us some information if we don't have it. So let's play the clip here. And you'll see quarterback snaps it, going to scramble right away. Okay, they're moving, they're running outside. Now, we saw that the free blocking zone was about right here. I apologize for the video quality, but the lateral boundary was about right here. So they are now out of the pocket. And they throw that ball away. There's no eligible receiver in the area. As long as that ball crosses the line of scrimmage, okay, lands on the beyond the line of scrimmage, it is a legal play. Now, a couple other mechanics that I want to know. If we are ever in question, okay, we are wondering where that ball was thrown, we need to keep that information. Remember how we put the beanbag down previously? If we thought it was intentional grounding, we were going to have a conversation. We put the beanbag down where the ball was thrown so that we had the information about the yardage. Now this beanbag becomes just as important because the referee should come running in. When that ball is thrown, the referee should come running in right to where that spot is, mark where that spot is, and then mark it with the beanbag so that they know where that ball was thrown when discussing intentional grounding plays. Okay, so again, referee should be running in to right about here where that ball is thrown. Okay, and then the umpire should be trailing the play as well. Now, you'll see here in this other view we have the same play here in our wide angle. You'll notice a couple things here, okay? Notice how our line of scrimmage official stays home here, okay? They don't leave this area. They stay home so that they're able to judge this play if the ball crosses the line of scrimmage. Now, this video was taken in 2021, but it's just a good example as if we had this rule this year or this past year, okay? You'll notice the umpire is working to the line of scrimmage, okay? The umpire can help rule if that ball crossed the line of scrimmage or not, because if we have wing officials going downfield because of eligible receivers, then the umpire can help on this ruling. Ideally, it should come from our line of scrimmage officials if that ball crossed the line of scrimmage or not, but the umpire can still assist here. Now you'll notice the ball is thrown. The ball lands right about here at the 42-yard line. Where is our line of scrimmage? Well, looks to me that it's about the 30-yard line. Okay, so even though that passer was outside of the pocket, outside of the free blocking zone, that ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. Therefore, this is still intentional grounding because that ball did not cross that line of scrimmage. Even though they were outside the pocket, it has to check both boxes. Okay, are they outside of the free blocking zone? Did that ball cross the line of scrimmage? If they check both of those boxes, we do not have intentional grounding. But if one of those boxes is left unchecked, then we still have intentional grounding, our spot foul plus a loss of down. So again, this is just a good play to kind of learn from, review. We know where that ball is crossed, where that ball is at, and then we can come in from there. Again, the referee should be running into right about here where that ball was thrown. Our next play that we're going to have now, I just want to note a couple things. This is an 8-player game, and this is our sideline right here, is our yellow line here because this was played on a college field. So we would like to say our umpire maybe just a step. It's kind of hard to tell. We don't have an end zone view. For the most part, they look good, though. Maybe just one step, but for the most part, they look good. They're outlining this foot right here. Okay, extending out. Maybe just a step, but for the most part, good positioning by our umpire. Our referee should be extending out and should be right about out here, somewhere along that vicinity. Again, hard to tell because we don't have an end zone view. See the passer escape. Okay, they'll throw that ball away. Our white hat does a good job of backing up, officiating the play. Okay, and then right away we want our referee to run in there and get that spot. Good job of our line of scrimmage official of working back towards the line of scrimmage when we need to have a ruling on this play. See that ball come out of bounds, and then that's all we see of it. Now, a couple things here. So we'll see that it's going to be close if the quarterback was on that free blocking zone line or not. When in doubt, assume that they're outside the pocket. If they were trying to work outside the pocket and they're right on that line, or you think they're right there, I personally am going to err on the side of caution that they're outside of that free blocking zone. We're not going to nitpick. They're trying to get out of the free blocking zone. They're trying to conserve that yardage. They're trying to throw that ball away. So I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are outside of. Now, Your state may have a different philosophy, or the WIAA may come out with something, or the NFHS might say, hey, we need to split hairs here. And if we need to split hairs, then we'll split hairs. But here, if we're not going to try and split hairs, the art versus the science, okay, we're just going to try, and we're going to let that quarterback get outside of the free blocking zone when in doubt. Now, we see that ball. Where does it land? It lands about right here. Now, I can't tell. I don't want to assume because we don't have a direct sideline view if that ball was there or not. That is another thing where, are you going to split hairs here? Okay. Are you going to say that, nope, it was a half yard short of the line of scrimmage? And if it is, and you know that it is, then we still flag for intentional grounding because the ball has not crossed the line of scrimmage. But if we think that it has crossed that line of scrimmage, if it has gotten here, or if it has gotten here, okay, then it is not intentional grounding. Then the passer has successfully moved outside of the pocket and has thrown that ball across the line of scrimmage. Again, I can't tell from this video angle. I don't want to make assumptions. From the looks of it, from the view that we have, it does look like it falls short of the line of scrimmage. So by rule, this is intentional grounding. All right, that is it. So I hope that I was able to provide some valuable information to you. Again, I am not an expert. I could have had some things wrong in this, and if I do have some things wrong, I will always update the description. I'm also going to link in the description a really good video that is a little bit longer than this one that clarifies some of the new rule changes. They also have some chop block videos on there, so be sure to go and check that out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Have a great season, and we will see you when training tape number 1 comes to you in late August.